Hello and welcome back to my channel, Speak English Confidently. Today I'm going to tell you the secret of 5 minutes. There's a voice in you that whispers, I want to speak English fluently. It has whispered for years, maybe even since childhood. But alongside that voice, there's another. I don't have time. I don't know enough. Maybe tomorrow. And between those two voices, the days pass. The weeks pass. The years pass. You keep waiting for the perfect time, the big study session, the long hour of practice that will finally make you confident. But let me tell you something that can change your life. Fluency doesn't begin with hours. It begins with minutes. And today, I want to share with you a secret that has helped thousands of learners break free from silence and finally find their voice. It's called the 5-minute rule. When you hear 5 minutes, it may sound too small, too weak, too easy. But here is the truth. 5 minutes every day is stronger than 2 hours once a week. 5 minutes every day is the seed of a habit. And a habit is what transforms you. Imagine watering a plant. If you pour a whole bucket once a week, the soil may drink too much and then dry out. But if you give it a little water each day, it grows steady, strong, unshaken. Your English is that plant. It doesn't need a flood. It needs drops, gentle, daily, unbroken. Why people avoid practice? So many learners hide from practice because they believe it must be long, hard, and perfect. They say, if I can't spend an hour today, I'll wait until I can. But that day rarely comes. Others feel pressure. If I practice, I must speak like a native. I must use advanced words. I must impress. And the weight of those expectations stops them before they begin. But 5 minutes carries no weight. 5 minutes says, just start. No perfection, no pressure, no impossible standard. Just a drop of water for your plant. The psychology of small steps. Your brain loves small beginnings. Science tells us that when we complete a tiny task, our brain releases dopamine, the chemical of satisfaction. This means every time you practice English for just 5 minutes, your brain rewards you. You feel progress, you feel capable, and that feeling pulls you back again tomorrow. But when you set huge goals, I'll practice 3 hours every day. Your brain feels overwhelmed. You procrastinate, you avoid, and soon you quit. The 5-minute rule bypasses that fear. It whispers, just a little, just enough, you can do this. What 5 minutes really means. So what does 5 minutes mean? It doesn't mean learning everything. It doesn't mean memorizing long lists. It means touching English daily, the way you touch your toothbrush every morning. 5 minutes is brushing your language, keeping it alive, keeping it present. It is not about mastering English in a day. It's about never letting English become a stranger. Think of a friend. If you see them once a year, you feel distance. But if you talk to them every day, even for 5 minutes, the bond becomes unbreakable. English is the same. 5 minutes in action. Let me give you some living examples of what 5 minutes can be. 5 minutes of speaking aloud. Stand in front of a mirror and describe your day. I woke up, I made coffee, I felt tired. Simple, real, honest. 5 minutes of shadowing. Listen to a line from a podcast or movie, pause and repeat. Feel the rhythm in your mouth. 5 minutes of memory. Recall one childhood story and tell it in English, even if the sentences are broken. 5 minutes of gratitude. Whisper 3 things you're thankful for in English. I'm thankful for my family, for my health, for this new chance. 5 minutes of imagination. Pretend you're introducing yourself to a stranger in a cafe, a co-worker in a meeting, a friend on a call. 5 minutes is not about what you choose. It is about showing up. How consistency shapes you. When you touch English every day, something invisible begins to happen. At first, you don't notice. The progress is soft, like grass growing. But then, one day, you are in a real conversation. The words come faster. Your tongue moves smoother. You realize, wait, I didn't translate. I just spoke. This moment does not come from a textbook. It comes from the quiet accumulation of small, daily touches. Consistency does not shout. It whispers. But over time, its whispers turn into confidence. The emotion of habit. There's something tender about daily habits. They become part of you like breathing. When you give English 5 minutes every day, you are not only learning a language, you are showing yourself love. You're telling yourself, my dream matters. My voice matters. Each day, you add one more stone to the bridge between who you are now and who you wish to be. And one day, without realizing it, you walk across. Real-life reflections. I once met a woman who worked long hours in a factory. She told me, I don't have time for school. I don't have money for lessons, but I have 5 minutes while waiting for the bus. So every day, she whispered sentences to herself at the bus stop, describing the sky, the noise, the feeling of tiredness. 5 minutes, every day. A year later, she could hold full conversations. Not because of long lessons, not because of expensive courses, but because of those 5 faithful minutes. That is the hidden power of consistency. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. The long-term impact. Here's what 5 minutes becomes over time. 5 minutes a day is 35 minutes a week. That's 2.5 hours a month. That's 30 hours in a year. 30 hours of speaking. 30 hours of hearing your own voice. 30 hours of training your tongue to trust English. And because it is spread out daily, those 30 hours sink deeper than any single course. They reshape your identity, not just your memory. A gentle promise. If you give English just 5 minutes a day, I promise you this. Your words will grow roots. Your voice will find its ground. And one day, when you least expect it, you will speak not with fear, but with freedom. Because fluency is not built in hours. It's built in moments. And moments begin with 5 minutes. The beauty of the small. We live in a world that worships the big. Big dreams, big achievements, big hours of work. But the truth is, the human heart doesn't grow in big leaps. It grows in small steps. Think about a song you love. It isn't one long note. It's hundreds of small ones, stitched together, creating harmony. Think about walking. One step by itself is nothing. But hundreds of steps carry you across cities, across mountains, across lifetimes. 5 minutes of English each day is like one note, one step, one drop of water. Alone, it may feel tiny, but together they compose a symphony of progress. Why 5 minutes feels different? Here's the hidden truth. When you give yourself a small promise, you keep it. If you tell yourself, I will study for 3 hours today, chances are you'll break that promise. Life will interrupt you, work will exhaust you, distractions will steal your time. And when you break that promise, you feel guilt. That guilt grows heavy. And slowly you stop trying. But 5 minutes? You can keep that promise. You can whisper English while waiting for tea to boil. You can speak English while standing in the shower. You can give yourself 5 minutes before bed when the world is finally quiet. And every time you keep that promise, you build trust with yourself. That trust is what builds confidence. 5 minutes is more than time. 5 minutes is not a clock. It's not the tick of a second hand. It is a ritual. a daily reminder that your dream is alive. Think of people who pray, meditate, or journal. They don't do it because it takes hours. They do it because it keeps their soul alive. Your 5 minutes of English is a prayer for your future self, a meditation for your growth, a quiet ritual that says, I will not abandon my voice. A different kind of practice. Let's make this vivid. Imagine yourself in different 5-minute worlds. You're walking home at night. Streetlights flicker. You look up at the sky and describe it in English. The sky is heavy with clouds. The air smells like rain. That's 5 minutes. You're cooking dinner. The pan sizzles. You whisper, the oil is hot. The garlic is golden. The smell is rich. That's 5 minutes. You're looking in the mirror, exhausted after work. You sigh. I am tired, but I am proud. I showed up today. That's 5 minutes. English doesn't only belong in classrooms or exams. It belongs in your kitchen, on your walks, in your sighs, in your laughter. That's how it becomes alive. The power of memory. Here's another way. Bring your memories into English. Close your eyes and return to a childhood moment. Maybe you're sitting under a tree, or playing by a river, or holding your grandmother's hand. Now, describe it in English. Don't worry about grammar. Just say, I was small. I felt safe. I smelled bread. I heard laughter. In those 5 minutes, you're not just learning words. You're translating your life into a new voice. You're giving your memories a second home. How the world listens. Some learners believe, if I only practice for 5 minutes, it will never be enough. But let me tell you this. 5 minutes of real, heartfelt speaking is worth more than hours of silent reading. Because fluency is not built in books. It is built in sound. It is built in the courage of hearing your own voice, shaky or strong, echoing in the air. And the world does not care if your practice was long or short. When you speak, the world hears your heart, not your stopwatch. The ripple effect. 5 minutes is not just 5 minutes, it's a doorway. You may begin with 5 minutes, but sometimes those 5 minutes grow into 10, into 20, without you even noticing. Because once you begin, the hardest part is already done. It's like dipping your feet in the ocean. At first, you only want to feel the water. But then, without thinking, you walk deeper. The 5-minute rule is not about limiting you. It's about tricking your fear. It says, just 5 minutes. And before you know it, you're swimming. The emotional weight of daily touch. There's a reason daily practice is so powerful. It keeps the dream warm. Think of a fire. If you only throw wood once a week, the flame will die and you must start again. But if you add even a small branch every day, the fire never goes out. Your 5 minutes are that branch, small but steady. Enough to keep the flame alive until it grows into something bigger. And every day you show up, you tell yourself, I am the kind of person who speaks English. I am the kind of person who keeps my fire alive. Compounding growth. Here's the secret. 5 minutes a day is not really 5 minutes. It is momentum. And momentum multiplies. Think of interest in a bank account. You don't notice it in a day. But year after year, it grows beyond imagination. The same happens with language. A small daily practice doesn't stay small. It compounds, it builds, it multiplies, until one day, the gap between you and fluency is no longer a mountain. It is a single step. So let me leave you with this image. It's 1 year from today. You're standing somewhere, maybe at an airport, maybe in a cafe, maybe on a video call with someone far away. And suddenly, you realize you're speaking freely, naturally, without hesitation. In that moment, you don't thank textbooks. You don't thank long, stressful nights. You thank the 5 minutes, the small daily act of showing up, the drops of water that became a river. That is the promise of the 5 minute rule. That is the sunrise waiting for you. So tonight, before sleep, or tomorrow morning before the rush begins, whisper something in English. 5 minutes. That's all. Because 5 minutes is not small. 5 minutes is everything. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.